again, I refuse. 'Cause you're the one that I choose. 'Cause all I wanted from you was for our love to come through. There's nothing else I can do, but you're the one that I choose.
After a thrilling race at the Talladega Super Speedway, we are back with the WINSTEL 2003 season, and tonight we've returned to the intermediates. It is the Kansas Speedway, and it is race number 22 of the season. Championship race is almost said and done, but there's still a fierce battle in the point standings from second on down. Welcome to FTF2 as you got David Kreutz bringing you all the coverage with Zach Johnson producing as we got our starting grid all set up. Number 20 machine representing Home Depot, Zach Campbell will be your man, pole position, and right beside him will be Christian Budd, the number 17, going at it here at the 1.5 mile circuit. 22 races down to the tour, and it's been a lot of action-packed driving since I last broadcasted here from Darlington. From then on out, we went next to a short track at Richmond, found ourselves at Talladega 2, and now we're back with the 1.5 mile circuit. It is tonight going to be a total of just about 60 laps of racing, and as you can see on the top ticker of your screen, drivers already formed up after qualifying. Got a total, as it stands, of 31 drivers registered for the event, 30 of which are on the track right now, save for the 000 TJ Crampton, and it looks like from then on back, every other driver is set to go. iRacing official pace car, the lights are off, will be set to go racing in just a moment's notice, and I'm sure with all the action we've seen throughout the season, another win wouldn't hurt at all. And for a driver like Zach Campbell, Christian Budd, Jose Salas, all consistent contenders up in front, after a bit of a wild card race at Talladega, they'd love to get themselves a bit planted here. It's not as chaotic a track. You can sort of understand it a bit more race by race, lap by lap basis, and these intermediate tracks, oh so common in stock car racing, so if you're good here, you can find quite a lot of great runs throughout the entirety of the tour. Tyler Head finds himself in 6th, your overall points leader by a total now of just about 220 points, 4 wins on the season for the driver, that number 86, and he's looking to go for the drive for fine. We'll see if someone else bests him though tonight. We've got a load of competitive drivers making their way through this time around. iRacing official pace car will drop down to the inside line and the field will get ready to rumble here in Tornado Alley. Pace cars off and the drivers are on the road. The green flag will fly here in Kansas, led by the number 20 machine of Zach Campbell. And as we get things moving, already going to be a start with Zach Campbell, 3 wide for a brief moment, Jose Salas and Christian Budd. Budd stays up top. Salas is going to find himself back in the second groove here. Rest of the drivers get on their way and keep it going clean as we now head down to lap number 2. Going to be Zach Campbell with Christian Budd then. Notably, Christian Budd, who fights for the second position, got a 4th place finish there, looking to keep the good times rolling as he rolls up to the high side once more. Working down low, Jose Salas is going to see Nicholas Doucette right behind him. In addition, Emily Howe and now Lilac Zier at the same time. 58 laps to go, already 2 by 2 at the head of the pack. The drivers building into this rhythm here, lap after lap, trying to find out which groove works. You'll see drivers already dropping it down to the apron here in the start-finish line. That bottom side works out quite well at Kansas compared to most other tracks. Due to the sort of nature of the circuit, it's a D-shaped tri-oval. You can still get the turn in quite well, and the not banked at all front stretch with that apron. There's minimal banking, but it's just enough distance cut to make it all the worthwhile. So you'll see drivers like Zach Campbell who run down low, using it to their advantage here, as it looks like now Christian Bud's got things going to the top side. Momentum will not prevail. Apron's going to be used, and they're still dead even at the line. Only a few thousandths of a second separated them, going to the turns 1 and 2 once more. One driver in the grass, that looks to be back of the field. It looks like Evan Lack in the 25 gets it going once again, but Evan having some trouble slipping and sliding. The UAW number 25, the Monte Carlo, keeps it going. Could have been much worse. Luckily, nothing else comes of it. Just like that, now have 31 drivers in the field. 000 TJ Crampton's going to be recorded as a driver on the track now. 30 other drivers are on the lead lap, and we're seeing still the lead battle is as fierce as it can get. Nicholas Doucette goes up high to make it 3 wide for the second position. Just a brief moment though as Jose Salas maintains it down low, and it's going to be Zach Campbell holding his number 20 up high. New race leader Christian Bud, and the number 17's now got the race lead 6 laps into 60. And all of a sudden, it's going to be the DeWalt Ford Taurus of course, Christian Bud finding himself at the head of the field. Number 17 machine able to break out. And after all the gridlock at the start of this show, it looks like now there's a chance to sort of break away and get things going for the driver of this number 17. Position number 1, 54 laps to go. Still early in the going, but he knows he's got the pace to get it back in the victory lane. 1 win of the season so far, 5 top 5s and 14 top 10s. So certainly a season to remember for this number 17 crew, and they've been hoping to keep it back up there to finish off the season. Of course, second win would be great. Right now, finding himself 4th in the point standing, so not far out of the race for the top 2 either. If he can keep this momentum going and keep it solid to the end, there's a chance to find himself in the podium in points, but there's still drivers looking to take those spots away. Looking specifically now at Zach Campbell, Nicholas Doucette, Jose Salas, all there at the same time, and Emily Howe's going to be in the top 5 too in the number 15 machine. Dylan Roberts there in 6-2, so top 5 on back there. A bit less close to each other, I'd say less clustered, but overall still close racing all throughout. You see that Budweiser machine, the number 8 of Dylan Roberts is going to be there in the 6th spot, and they're all coming together side by side once more. Pushing each other through lap after lap, taking a good look at Zach Campbell and Christian Bud going back at it. Bud's going to be on the high side and now drop down to low. It's going to be, of course, number 20 machine Zach Campbell drop him down the lowest of which he's trying to get it down to the paint there as they go through turns 3 and 4. Lowest grooves to cut that distance even deeper in the apron. He wiggles just a bit though as he comes through the transition, and that's going to give Christian a bit of a better shot as they come through once again. And that's going to be the difference between winning and losing here. These Gen 4 stock cars are not as planted as the modern stock car scene in current NASCAR Cup Series racing. It's a bit different as, of course, the racing's gone on, differences in the way stock cars have been manufactured to perform, so you'll see a bit less of a planted feeling for these drivers. If they go down, make a move, they might be squirming the tires, getting a bit loose, losing control a bit more so than what we see today. That's going to impact how these drivers manage their equipment. Tires, fuel, all play a major part as the day goes on. And even though it is a very short race and only 60 laps, you're going to see the drivers still having to worry about all their equipment as the racing continues. And that's been the name of the game to this point, as you'll see Zach Campbell and now Jose Salas going back at it. It's going to be that number 20 machine regaining the race lead, and Jose Salas finding himself position number 2. Side by side, it's going to be Bud and Doucette. Emily Allen is going to be rounding out the top 5, and Dylan Roberts will then be in 6th, with Sean Palig now 7th, and Tyler Head in 8th. And that's the way they're coming out of the first dozen laps, as Zach Campbell's got the race lead yet again. Now the top 2 beginning to break away, giving drivers such as the 24 of Doucette and Christian Bud the opportunity to sort of battle it amongst themselves. And this is when the best of the best separate themselves from the rest of the field. Right now, it looks like Campbell and Salas are a leg up on everyone else, and you see, even though there's still that second cluster right behind the two, it's just not close enough. That time by 31.654 for Zach Campbell. It was a 31.617 for Jose Salas, but from there on out, nobody within the same tenth of a second. For third place, Christian Bud, it was a 32.012 as they'll nearly take him 4 wide. Now he's going to be in a bit of trouble, as you'll see every groove being used. bottom, second, third, and all the way up top. They're all working each other over. Doesn't matter if you're high side or low. And Christian Budd manages to hold on everyone else, but Dylan Roberts not getting by to this point. Despite the troubles so far in getting by Christian Budd, it's pretty evident by this point he's using up that equipment a bit more than the others and maybe wearing out the tires because he's having trouble maintaining his position lap after lap. Dylan Roberts getting down low, finds the opportunity in a Christian's preferred groove in the most recent laps. He'll take it through, cruising on the bottom sides. We take a look up top. It's going to be Zach Campbell and Jose Salas going back at it. Salas is going to be down low, apron once again. Zach Campbell opts to go high side, gets just enough momentum to clear, and we got trouble. Number 97 machine, huge hit. Up into the air and over again. That's the Sharpie 97 of Philip Snipes, and a huge hit brings out the caution. Up and over, and it looks like landing on all fours. Nearly some trouble there. Caution will fly as we'll get you an STF instant replay. Man, oh man, it's Philip Snipes. Looks to be Ken Huff too. Now going to be Crab walking away. Here's your instant replay on what just happened. First caution here in Kansas. 15 laps in of 60, and he's going to get loose. Philip gets tagged down to the grass, comes back up, and out of control, going to make contact. Ken Huff sends the 97 into the air, almost as high as the catch fence, and it comes back down. You'll see then from there, the net zero machine going to fly right by, but that's a bit after the wreck in particular. Now, the Sharpie 97, piloted by Philip Snipes, will be scored in 28th with some clear damage all throughout. Crab walking it at speed. Yellow flag flies 16 laps in for the first time today. It's going to be Zach Campbell leading with Jose Salas then second. Dylan Roberts is going to be third, and Christian Budd will then be in fourth. Nicholas Doucette rounds out the top five, and now the question is, how busy does pit road get? iRacing tires are going to be worn up, drivers struggling with grip, and it looks like most of the field opting to come in. Bit of touch in there as they come down to pit road for the first time today. Leader Zach Campbell takes them through, and we've got a pit road race under caution. The drivers rolling this time by, look like nobody on the field going to opt to avoid pit road. Taking a look at it all now, everyone is in for the first stop of the night. 17 laps in of 60, so if all goes well, we'll get a bit of a longer run. We should be able to go the rest of the way, but we'll see depending on cautions. As drivers make it in, going to be a race between Campbell and Christian Budd up in front. Looks like Roberts got a quick stop, but not enough to beat out Jose Salas. Jose gets it off of pit road, then going to be Zach Campbell second, and Dylan Roberts now in third. Remarkable pit road performances for the 29 and number 8 respectively, shaving a second off their pit speed time compared to Zach Campbell. 41.1 seconds on pit lane for Campbell, 40.5 for Salas, and a 40.4 for Dylan Roberts. But Christian Budd, even though he fades back into fourth again, he had a quick stop himself, 40 flat, so nothing to slouch about here in pit road. The tenths of a seconds make the difference. Even if you're quick, could be someone that much quicker than you. Overall, good stops up in front of the field. The spread of speed on pit road, only about 5.2 seconds. Slowest pit stop, 45, of Jeffrey McClintock. So all the same, great performances on pit road, and that is important in a race like this. That track position, you might have the clean air, you won't wear out your equipment as such, so if you can avoid burning up your stuff and gain some spots on pit road, it makes your job as a driver that much easier. 40.5 seconds for Jose Salas Jr. He's the leader off pit road. 18 laps into 60. We're set to go back green at lap 20. And as it stands, looking to the back of the field, looks like now Tyler Murray going to be back on pit road. Philip Snipes and Ken Huff are now going to be both one lap down each. TJ Crampton comes down to pit road again. Back of the field is going to be into pit road, but 27 drivers remain in formation right now. So it looks like Tyler coming back for extra service. Philip and Ken are both going to be getting some more repair from that huge hit that brings out the first caution as they come down the American Ethanol back straightaway once again. Rest of the field is in no danger. And here for the number 29 machine in the WINSTEL 2003 season, he'll lead the way in the Kansas Speedway. It's Jose Salas, Zach Campbell, and Dylan Roberts, your new top three, as the iRacing official pace car leads him down to the front straightaway all over again to make it one more lap in our first caution of the night. Zach Campbell going to drop down low. Looks like he's going to take it down under the apron as they come through with 1 lap remaining on the caution. 18 laps in. Not a lot of trouble to speak of so far for the front runners. Some wiggling back and forth, but only 1 caution in the first 19 laps of racing. And you're watching our first caution of the day live on FTF2. Looks like we're going to have 1 driver getting a lap back. Just like that, drivers are still rolling around at full speed if they need to make up time. Looks like Philip Snipes is going to be on the way as well. Just like that, 42 laps to go. Top scoring ticker comes back on the screen again, and it's going to be Jose Salas looking to get it back in charge up in front, having a fierce battle with Zach Campbell before our caution flew. Fast on pit road, 0.6 of a second quicker than the aforementioned number 20, and that will keep him ahead of our pole sitter for today. It's going to be Salas and Campbell as they come through for a single file restart, getting back to it here in Kansas City. Now as the drivers come in this time around, Jose Salas, we're looking at your leader. 3 wins on the campaign to this point, 5 top 5s and 11 top 10s. One of the most consistent drivers this season, locked in a fierce points battle for the top 2 himself. He only finds himself a total of 16 points behind Christian Budd, so maybe he'll be getting a few more points back if he can finish this race on top. Looking for win number 4 in the Tour, 42 laps to go, coming down to 41. Green flag back in the air, led by Jose Salas with a drive down low from Zach Campbell. Green flag flies with 41 laps to go. Already, Salas and Campbell resume their hard-fought battle up in front. Home Depot number 20 going to occupy the bottom side of the track. Looks like the good wrench 29 takes the top, and that's the way they'll go at it to finish off the first third of this race. Side by side, the stripe advantage goes to Jose Salas, but not by much. These 2 drivers keeping each other on their toes, and that's the way it's gone for the first third of the action. 21 laps in so far, and already back to the fierce racing ahead. Side by side, Dylan Roberts occupies the 3rd spot. Next side by side battle appears to be involving Tyler Head and Sean Peleg, which is a bit further back in the leading group. And now you'll see Nicholas Doucette riding the high side, trying to get himself in the action at the same time. Jose Salas clears once more, gets him down the stripe in one piece, and all of a sudden you might see Dylan Roberts is creeping up more and more, and Roberts with a tremendous pit stop to put himself back in 3rd is going to try to benefit from it that much more. And that's what it means to get that good pit stop and that good runoff. It might be a caution and it's all controlled, but gaining spots is a must. Now the Papyrus number 86 of Tyler Head drops down low. Your points leader by a total of 220 points coming in tonight. When all is said and done this season, odds are he'll be the man with the championship trophy here in the WINSTEL 2003 season. He has been a tremendous driver all season long in terms of performance and consistency. Nobody doing it quite like Tyler Head in this championship tour. 4 wins is not the leading total overall. Zach Campbell has 5 coming in tonight, but he has made it to 20 races this season. And that's what matters in winning the championship. And he's been able to make it almost every race this season, and now finds himself very well set up for the championship's conclusion come 2 weeks' time. 22 races in to the 2003 season here in WINSTEL. The Gen 4 Challenge has seen Tyler Head rise up to become a huge figure in competition, and right behind him now you'll see Gabriel Mauricio and Brendan McGee going right at it. Your Talladega winner now going to be inside the 10th spot. He finds his Dodge Mopar going down to the bottom, blocking the number 2 of Chris Champeau, battling just beyond the top 10. Now the drive for the single digits is on, and we've got a big pack forming up right behind your front runners. And it looks like right now this is the biggest battle on the track. Tyler Head going to defend down low. You'll see Gabriel Mauricio going to go up high yet again. 40 Machine going to be the only one in this pack to try that high side, at least for the time being. Other drivers hoping to mimic the style that Tyler Head is adopting, and if you can't beat them, join them. That might be what's going on right now for these drivers. It looks like now the 9 is going to go into the middle groove, but it is going to be still consistency from Christina Ryan. Christina stays on the bottom side, and it looks like she'll keep it down low when other drivers begin to try something else. Blocking both lanes, Tyler Head remains on the bottom. Now he's going to see Sean Peleg is going to be ahead of him once again. Clearly, gap only about 4/10 of a second, so maybe if this pack can build the speed back up, there's a shot, as you'll see, drive down low from Chris Champeau. Chris takes it 3, and all of a sudden it's going to be 3 wide for position number 9. Chris Champeau is going to be right there, has Gabriel Mauricio and Brendan McGee right there side by side with them. Christina Ryan on the back bumper as well. Very risky position to be in, but luckily nothing comes of it. Christina drops down to the bottom side herself, and now tries to take the spot away from your defending race winner with 34 laps to go. Up in front, the battles are still not in play. 3/10 of a second separate Solis and Zach Campbell. Back to your race leader update as these drivers continue to sort out amongst themselves. The Miller Lite number 2 drops down to the bottom once again. Chris Champeau tries to break away from Brennan, but at the line it looks like there's nothing more he can do. In fact, Brennan has the position ahead of him at the scoring loop, and Christina Ryan is still there all the same. It looks like now Gabriel Mauricio and Tyler Head are both going to be able to pull away, but it's still side by side there on back. This is still the fight for position number 10. Top 10 could be decided by this race. Tyler Head gets away, so does Gabriel Mauricio, but still, we have ourselves a battle between some very competitive drivers here in Kansas. Just like that, Chris Champeau's got the edge once more, coming down to the front stretch. Looks like he is going to have it. The stripe. For Chris Champeau, this number 2 machine, we've seen this Miller Lite paint scheme almost throughout the entirety of the season, making 18 races so far on the tour, finds himself 23rd in points, and for a driver running so well tonight, you'd be shocked to hear he does not have a top 10 of the tour so far. No wins, no top 5s or top 10s, and this could be a standout performance on the season if he pulls it together and gets ahead of this number 9. Chris Champeau chasing his first top 10 of the tour with 31 laps to go, and he's still fiercely locked in this battle, and he knows that he's up there with a race-winning caliber talent, and it would be a great way to break into the top 10 for the first time this season, racing 21 events. Of course, 18 he made. There have been 21 this season. He's been involved with almost the entirety of this championship hunt and still has not found himself up there inside the top 10 at the end of the race. And he's been up there competing, but just hasn't been able to lock it in those final laps. This might be the chance to break through, as you're seeing up in front. Emily Allen is going to be right there with the 24 of Nicholas Doucette. Doucette's got the top side and rips it up high. High side and low side almost dead even, but the American Ethanol backstretch gives the advantage back to Nicholas Doucette. And Doucette sets himself up nicely once more, gets into that 5th position. Top 5, he's got the final spot in it. Emily Howe remains right behind, though, and there's still a shot to get some momentum, as you'll see. Slowly but surely, Sean Peleg pulls himself into the conversation at the same time. That time through, Sean Peleg was about 1/10 of a second faster than both Emily Howe and Nicholas Doucette, so maybe now the 48 machine joins his Hendrick paint scheme teammate, to say the least. It is Nicholas Doucette right there, still holding off the 15. Let's see if Emily's got the Napa know-how to drop it through and get that spot. Bottom side for Emily. She's going to take it low, but still doesn't have to run off corner exit. Nicholas Doucette maintains his position. Still creeping into play, it is going to be that Sean Peleg, number 48, closer and closer indeed, lap after lap, gaining more time, and this is when tire wear begins to come into play. The best lap so far on this race for Sean Peleg, who finds himself now in 7th, is a 30.885. That time by, and he's been on this tire run for only 16 laps. He ran a 31.98, so it's over a second a lap being lost in terms of tire wear. That is a huge amount of time, and if there is going to be another caution as we have some trouble on the racetrack, that's going to be the number 9 machine of Brendan McGee dropping down to the grass. Nobody else involved. Luckily does keep it collected, but as you mentioned, trouble. You might see drivers coming down a pit road. Big time issue there for the number 9 machine, gets it back on the way, and now you see very slow Ali Osman, and it looks like it's going to be the number 5 also having trouble at the same time. No caution for 2 incidents, sliding down low, and already pit road going to be busy. Zach Campbell drops it in, and just like that, we've got ourselves a run down to pit road. Competitive pit stops being made with 26 laps remaining, and you'll see not too far behind this number 20, also going to be Nicholas Doucette and Emily Howe at the same time. Pit road getting active with 26 laps to go, and now we've got ourselves a fight on tire strategy. Undercutters, Campbell bringing in the 24 and 15 right behind him. Now drivers beginning to stay out a bit longer. 35 in of 60. It's a slide down a pit road. Jose Salas, does he save it? Yes, he does. Salas gets it back on the way. Has some trouble sliding through. And we'll see whether or not there's a penalty or if he backed it down in adequate time. Jose Salas risky as he comes to his pit entry. And he's going to be on his way in. Now looking at Christian Budd and Dylan Roberts. Now that number 17 machine facing some pressure from Dylan once again. Roberts opting to stay out on the track longer to try to take that race lead before the pit cycle. Coming through this time by, the choice is to come in here and now. 25 laps to go. Roberts is going to follow Christian Budd in. They both make it at the same time. New race leader is going to be scored as Tyler Head. It looks like now it's Parker Alexander second and Thomas Lewandowski then in third. As drivers from the last pit cycle make their way out, another set comes in. Tyler Head is now going to lead the few drivers that have opted to stay on the track. Looks to be now only a total of 5 drivers left, and that's going to come down to Tyler Head, Parker Alexander, Thomas Lewandowski, Matt Skipper, and Tyler Murray. The rest of your field is opted to stay on the track. In addition, one other driver, the 89 of Hayden Repass, and it looks like now a big group comes in. Murray, Skipper, and Hayden all coming through at the same time with 23 laps to go. So another bunch opts to make it through. Tyler Head still on the track here, and Parker Alexander holds on then in second. 23 laps to go. This is a huge gamble for this 86 machine. Your points leader on the drive for 5 wins on the tour to tie the season high mark. He's already got himself firmly first in points, but there's still a chance to make that gap even wider. This is how quick drivers are coming through. This is the number 1 machine of Parker Alexander. He makes it in this time by, leaves Lewandowski and Tyler Head alone. And now 22 laps in for Tyler Head, 20 laps in for Thomas Lewandowski, changing pace up in front. And you'll see how quick that 20 of Zach Campbell got away. Campbell is scored in 4th right now and leads all drivers on the new set of tire. And he was side by side with Tyler Head at the start-finish line 1 lap ago. He's already made up in excess of 4 seconds. And just like that, Tyler Head is going to hang it up and make it down to pit road for his final pit stop of the night. He'll bring Thomas Lewandowski there too, both coming down to pit road, and just like that, it's going to be the Zach Campbell machine cycling up to the race lead with 22 laps remaining. And Zach Campbell playing a very nice game in terms of pit strategy. 21 laps to go now, and has himself the race lead ahead of Christian Budd by 2.5 seconds. So the undercut paying off very well to this point, but it is going to be Christian Budd with a much younger set of tire, and Jose Salas there as well. So we'll see whether or not that younger set pays off as they come through this time by. Both the 29 and 17 have been on their pit run for less time than Zach Campbell, and while they're 2.5 seconds back right now, that could change as the more tire wear there is, the more noticeable it is, and we saw several seconds of tire wear. Times dropping big, lap after lap, drivers fading into the 32-second bracket. If they had trouble, they'd even fall down to the 33. Now looking back up in front, you'll see there the 29 of Jose Salas with Christian Budd. They're chasing down Zach Campbell with 20 laps remaining. It's a last dash to get back with the leader, and right now it's going to be all on edge. Pushing at 100%. It's a gap of 2.5 seconds, but you don't want to waste your time to get it back up there, because as soon as the next driver behind you or ahead of you hits that tire wear wall, so to speak, you might hit it at the same time. So if you can do all your work right now while you've got control of your equipment, maybe that's best. Claw in, close the gap, and go from there. 42 laps in, out of 60, 19 laps to go. If you made it this far and you're still within about 5 seconds of the leader, you might be a shot for a solid finish. Right now, you'll see further on back, looking at the number 5, or rather the 15 of Emily Howe, going to be there with the 8 of Dylan Roberts and Chris Champeau's number 2, both side by side once again. The 8 and the number 2 fighting now for position number 6. Chris Champeau, as we mentioned, is going to look for his first top 10 of the season. He drops it down low as he sees now right behind him is Sean Peleg, and he's firmly inside the top 10, which would be his best result of the campaign to this point. 18 laps to go. Dylan Roberts is going to be right there with Emily Howe, still fighting. Nicholas Doucette broke away by about a second's worth, and now the 48 machine drops down to the bottom side, giving Chris a run for his money as Dylan Roberts keeps it down to the bottom side, working with his own groove and his own momentum. Side by side, the stripe, they'll be all over again. It's going to be neck and neck at the line. It looks like Emily's got a minor advantage, but it gets taken away by Roberts once more. Up and down the order, side by side battles beginning to come into play, and you'll see that Zach Campbell's lead, it is diminishing. Now going to be a second and a half for the number 20 machine ahead of Jose Salas. Jose is clearly quicker right now, and that number 29 is gaining as much as he needs to perhaps be in the race battle for the lead by the 10 lap to go marker. So very good in that aspect. Dylan Roberts is chasing down Nicholas Doucette. That time by, it looks like Roberts was 0.2 of a second quicker, but this time by, same as before. So Dylan Roberts might be quick enough to catch back up to the podium, all things considered. 16 laps to go and remarkably quicker than everyone ahead of him. And it looks like now Roberts has a shot to make a few more spots up before all is said and done. Now it's going to be Sean Pellig and Emily Howe going back at it. Number 15 still remains in 6th, at least for the moment, but the number 48 is clawing in closer and closer. Side by side, Nicholas Doucette already going to be passed by Roberts. Dylan makes it by, and all of a sudden the number 8 machine representing Budweiser makes the move through and blows by the competition yet again. Dylan Roberts is very quick, and of the drivers inside the top 5, he and Christian Budd share a 9-lap-old tire stint, so he is a clearly better worker with running longer in the first stint and then going for gold later. He saved it up. Patience was the virtue that carried him through, and all of a sudden, he now has the fastest speeds lap after lap, time after time. That time through, nobody ahead of him in position had a quicker lap, and he was at least a half second quicker than Zach Campbell, so that means that Roberts might have enough to catch Christian Budd as we're looking still the battle between Sean Pellig and Emily Howe. Emily's going to be up top, Sean Pellig still there down low. The 48 machine drops it down to the bottom, still trying to claw away at that position. Gabriel Mauricio also made it by Chris Champeau, so all of a sudden Chris's top 10 might be in jeopardy here. He finds himself now only 2 seconds ahead of Christina Ryan with just over a dozen to do it. A baker's dozen, as a matter of fact. 13 laps to go as the 48 finally gets by Emily. All of a sudden, Sean Pellig now going to be chasing down Nicholas Doucette, who's beginning to struggle with those older tires. 1 lap can make all the difference, and now they'll be side by side, not only further on back in the top 5, but for the lead. Zach Campbell and Jose Salas go side by side. New race leader. It looks like now it's going to be the number 29 of Jose Salas out in front. Salas has it, and we'll see drivers coming back down to pit road. Taking a look at Nicholas Doucette making it in. Also going to be Chris Champeau. Pit road is busy once more, and all of a sudden we might not be done with the action under, of course, the front straightaway. It's going to be pit road, still having drivers coming this time by. Doucette, Champeau, Austin Reedy, the number 90, a dozen laps remaining, and all of a sudden the action has not stopped. Jose Salas gets that lead, but Zach Campbell comes down to pit road yet again. Looks like he'll bring Dylan Roberts in too. Jose Salas got the lead just before the cycle was over. Very good for his sake, but it might not be all said and done. 50 laps on the board so far. Zach Campbell's in, so is Tyler Head. Looks like Thomas Lewandowski stays out. And just like that, taking a look at Salas and makes it by another lap machine. He is still as quick as ever, and he's trying to stretch this one, hoping to go a bit further, but not much more he can do. Once again, slides and corrects it, still giving a show onto the entry. Jose Salas comes in, brings Christian Budd, and Emily Howe comes in all the same. Pit road gonna bring your leading pack in. Christina Ryan not too far behind. Drivers making their way off. Jeffrey McClintock makes it through, and just like that, the leaders are all in. Alex Bates is now scored as your new race leader. Evan Locke is going to be in second. Tyler Head then third. Thomas Lewandowski in fourth. And Matt Skipper position number 5. It'll be Parker Alexander and Tyler Murray 6th and 7th. Once again, hoping to stay out a bit longer here. 10 laps to go. New race leader, the number 10 Valvoline machine. It's Evan Locke in second, but Alex Bates controls the field as Evan comes down to pit road. Now we got the drivers hoping to make it last a little longer. 9 laps remaining, and I'm sure this number 10 would love to see the race end here and now. So close to the end, but still one more pit stop seems inevitable no matter who you are on the track. 15 to 20 laps, you gotta come through, and he's knowing that even if he's running a bit longer here, getting that lead lap bonus, there's no chance of the race victory without a miracle. So it's gonna be now down to pit road. In the next few laps, Alex Bates surely knowing there's got to be one more run down under the front straightaway. As you see, he still leads, but those drivers with new tires are flying by. That's Emily Howe, who scored in 15th, and she just made it through the leader like he wasn't moving. That's trouble if you want to hold on that much longer, because Tyler Head is also coming through as well. Tyler's been on his pit run for 13 laps, and even though he is still about 7/10 of a second behind, he is much quicker than the leader of Alex Bates. And even though he's going to be passed now by Chris Champeau, it looks like it could be Tyler Head making it work on strategy for his 5th win of the season. 8 laps remaining this time by, and all of a sudden the 86 sees it become 7. He's there and might have a shot to get it done after all. Lewandowski scored in 3rd, Matt Skipper then in 4th, and Parker Alexander then in 5th to round out your top 5 to this point. And black flag's going to be given out to Jose Salas and Zach Campbell to update you on what's going on. Looks like a pit road violation, and the number 29 and the 20 respectively, both going to have penalties. So that's coming in after our most recent pit cycle, and it looks like just like that, our former race leader comes in to pit road. Another penalty going to be coming through for the number 10 machine at the same time, and just like that, pit road getting tricky here as we see Alex Bates bringing himself to pit road, penalty, and misses the stall. Worst of both worlds. 6 laps to go. It's now in the hands of Tyler Head and Lewandowski, then in 2nd. Just like that, it's going to be the number 86 machine of Tyler Head, your points leader once again in a very familiar position. With only 5 laps remaining, the chance to hold on might be now more than ever as Tyler tries to keep it rolling. Most drivers have come down to pit road. For those who have, the effective race leader would be Dylan Roberts in that number 8. He's scored in 7th right now. Of the drivers who have come down to pit road, Dylan Roberts is the leader. Number 8 machine's got it up there, and he's now going to be scored in 7th as it's going to be another driver down to pit road, Chris Champeau. Actually, Christina Ryan this time by. So pit road is still busy as Tyler Murray and Matt Skipper make it down the 30, the 43 respectively. Just like that, another set coming through. 4 laps to go, and it's going to be Tyler Head still trying to hold on. Some internet issues there, and as he comes down the American Ethanol back straightaway, just has to make it under 6 miles left. The question still is, can he do it? Lewandowski remains out. So does Parker Alexander, and there's still no signs of stopping. 4 laps remaining. The Papyrus Monte Carlo takes it down again. He's got Lewandowski 0.6 of a second back though, and Lewandowski is closing in. That time by, they were only separating lap time by 0.2 of a second, so it might not be over for the 21 either. They're still in arm's reach of one another, and all of a sudden, Thomas Lewandowski might have a shot to break through in the final moments. The Motorcraft number 21 right there behind your current race leader as they make it in time and time again. Now, no signal of coming down to pit road. 2 laps to go. It's a pit strategy race, and it looks like for Tyler Head, the strategy has been not to come down to pit road one more time. And you can hear how much he lets off the motor, in fact, putting it into the clutch and letting it ride through the corner's entry. Now, that's what you gotta do with extreme fuel saving to make this strategy work, pushing the car to the limits. And sometimes doing nothing is better than doing anything at all. That's the situation right now for Head. You heard it through the entry of the corner, letting off the motor entirely, clutching it through. Less action, less fuel used, more fuel saved. 1 lap to go for your points leader in the WINSTEL 2003 season. Looking to get it done here at Kansas. The final lap is out. He's still on the track, and only 3 drivers have remained. Tyler Head finds himself up in front on the drive for a fifth victory this season. Your points leader by over 220 points coming into the night. He's been the best driver all season long and is looking to tie the single season lead for victories in the 2003 Tour. Coming down to the start-finish line to make the fuel-saving gamble work, Tornado Alley gives Tyler Head a wild ride as he wins the 22nd round of the WINSTEL Gen 4 Tour in 2003. Lewandowski comes home second. Parker Alexander makes it home third. Only 3 drivers complete the gamble, and Tyler Head is the man who comes through with the best of it. Head back on top, winning his 5th race of the season. And the Pirates number 86 machine gets it done, and throwing it back to, of course, the iconic Fred Jones, it is Tyler Head, race winner for the 5th time this season. Coming down to the start-finish line to burn down the house, and he's going to be alone in victory lane once again. Here to celebrate the action from Kansas in the 22nd round of the season, Tyler Head burns it down from Kansas City. And it looks like the choice for Tyler Head, not to burn it down, but take it off the track. I'm thinking the tires must have been burnt out by that point already. Not much more else to shred. But either way, getting it done here in Kansas, Tyler Head will win over Thomas Lewandowski in second, with Parker Alexander then third, and Dylan Roberts position number 4. Sean Palig will round out the top 5 with Nicholas Doucette then in 6th, and it's going to be the number 7 machine, of course number 7 in position, Gabriel Mauricio then in 7th. Emily Howe is going to be 8th, with Chris Champeau holding on for his first top 10 of the season, then in 9th, and Christian Budd in 10th, with 11 being held then on out by Christina Ryan in the number 4. Going to be Austin Reedy in 12th, and Kyle Benson then in 13th. 14th going to be Evan Lack, the number 25, as it's going to be Andrew Perkins to round out the top 15, and Jeffrey McClintock in 16th. Lilac Zero is going to be 17th, with Jonathan Hernandez 18th, Tyler Murray 19th, and Matt Skipper then in 20th, as it's Zach Campbell then in 21st. Hayden Repass is going to be in 22nd. Brandon Cruz and Monsivais is going to be 23rd, and it'll be Craig Lautenslager in 24th. Jose Salas with a pit road penalty finishes in 25th. Ali Osman going to finish in 26th, and from winning at Talladega, it will be Brendan McGee 27th. Alex Bates holds it out for a 28th finish with a late race penalty as well. Philip Snipes, after an incident, brings it home 29th. TJ Crampton retires 19 laps down, and Ken Huff finishes 31st and last in the number 31, 28 laps away from your race leader. Of course, Tyler Head coming through once again. And how's about we bring home your race winner into victory lane and get our winning interview from the number 86. 5th win this season. Once again on top, it's a points lead further extended. Tyler Head this season has been fantastic for the 86 crew, and pit strategy playing off very well to win in Kansas. How do you feel tonight?
I feel pretty savvy, but like you said, that's just kind of how the season has been going. I've been really spoiled with a lot of good fortune, and when I take, for instance, tonight, I decide that I'm really going to play the fuel mileage game, and we get a very, very clean race with only that one caution. So that really worked in my favor, and I think Mr. Lewandowski recognized it too. I saw him coming late, and I was like, oh man, he's always good when it comes to saving gas, so he might be able to charge a little bit harder here. So yeah, I was worried about it there in those last few laps, but really happy to get the win here.
And gain the win with a very, very hard strategy to pull off. Only 3 drivers getting it done. They all finish on the podium, so big risk, big reward. As you mentioned, clean racing. 1 caution only, and from there we went green. So it looks like you saved yourself up for the final run. How was it preparing for the big moment and making work in those final 10, 15 laps?
Yeah, I mean, I think it really had been set up by the 25 or 30 that had come before that. I was really committed to clutching throughout the race. You gave up a little bit of speed entering the corner, but just the way the setup was, and what that would do for you, you didn't give up all that much, and then you kind of got some of the speed back later in the run because you weren't going as hard on your right rear tire. So um, when we had that caution, I thought that the fuel mileage had gone out the window, and I I kept on saving and saving under caution, and I considered topping off, but I didn't want to give up all of the track position. And when we were coming to the green, I was like, I think you might be able to make this. So I'm glad that I fully committed to it, because I almost bailed on the fuel mileage strategy and just started going full bore.
And commitment is key to getting it done. Once again, Tyler Head, 5th win of the season, as you mentioned. The season has been great to this team. And another race with another opportunity. Going to be Legacy Phoenix up next on the tour with our penultimate race of the season. And it looks like the championship all but closed out, but there's still a chance to come home with victory lane once more. What's the game plan heading into another tricky race at a 1-mile track in Phoenix?
I mean, with what the situation is now, it's just go there, try to have some fun. Phoenix in WINSTEL often has really, really tight racing. I know last year we were all on top of each other, going 3 wide at times, and really not given much wiggle room for error, and still making it stick. That's what's so fun about racing in this series. So let's go there and race hard and enjoy it.
And hoping to enjoy the rest of this season, Tyler Head pulls it through for a 5th win on the tour. Anything else you'd like to add after tonight's win?
No, I'm just thankful for everybody who comes out and runs these races with us, and having such a great show each week. I'm happy just to be in it, let alone be running well in it. So, thank you, everybody.
Another fantastic drive for Tyler Head as he wraps off another race victory here in the Kansas Speedway. Thank you for your time. And then from there, our race winner, it was, of course, the 86 Tyler Head. 2nd place coming through in Thomas Lewandowski, and number 21 also playing a very risky strategy game, but it works out in the end. 2nd place for this 21 crew to make it home on the podium. Thomas Lewandowski, how you feeling?
A lot better now. I skipped qualifying, so starting from the back, and I knew I had to do something. And in practice, I was looking at the fuel numbers and stuff, and if it went green, I was gonna save fuel and do 20 lap runs. And then you had the caution, and I was like, well, I think I can make it from here. I knew I could do 20. I wasn't sure about 21 laps or so, because that's with such a short fuel. Such a short amount of fuel, you really don't have that much time to save the fuel, which makes it hard. So I wasn't sure if I could do the extra lap or not, but we made it work.
As you mentioned, very small window, a margin of error, only 60 laps, 1 caution, which gave you a bit more wiggle room, but still very short runs through pit road and out, so it was very challenging for the drivers who did make it happen to pull it through to the very end. So how was it for you to make it happen lap after lap, sort of understanding when was the time to really commit to the saving and if there was even a chance to make it happen?
Well, I committed to it right away because I topped off before we went green. So I gave up I didn't have that much track position, but I gave up like 5 or 6 spots, whatever, to come in top off. And I was clutching it from the right off the restart there.
And it looks like the commitment and the sacrifice early pays off later in the going. For this number 21 team, another podium finish on the tour, but still chasing that victory lane. It's going to be Legacy Phoenix up next for the penultimate race of the season. You think there's a chance to maybe bring it home 1 spot better?
Hopefully. I won Homestead last year, so I'm hoping if not Phoenix and Homestead, I think I have a really good shot at it again. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
And looking to keep the good running going here, Thomas Lewandowski, 2nd place from the Kansas Speedway. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, just thank you guys for broadcasting it, and thank Marcus, John, Larry, all over at the Drill Out Team Speak. Those guys, being out there and stuff, and they helped me out. So.
And Thomas Lewandowski pulling it through for a 2nd place finish on strategy here in Kansas, and will bring home your final podium sitter. Number 1 machine of Stephen Parker pulls it through 3rd on the day, committing to a risky strategy, and it gains quite a lot of spots when it matters the most. How you feeling after tonight? And Stephen Parker wondering if you got a copy here. 3rd place on the day.
I got a copy. Unfortunately, I was on push to talk, so sorry about that.
It looks like now going to be with us here. Number 1 pulls it through, and 3rd place. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty darn good. I got to tell you, I did not think I was going to make that at all. I had to shut the car off every lap after that second shot or second stop. I had to pit a lap before Tyler there, and I was like, I'm definitely screwed now. But I just committed to it, and able to get top 5. I'm really happy with the way this season's coming on, man. I'm really coming on strong here as of late, and I'm excited for these last 2 races.
And as you mentioned, as all the drivers in the top 3 have told us so far, commitment, commitment, commitment. That's the big, most important factor of getting this strategy done. Almost saying committing myself. And it looks like if you didn't go for it from the beginning, you'd not be able to do it at all. So starting early, working from there on out, you had to think about it all 60 laps. So how was it with that management in your perspective racing tonight?
Well, that first run, I hit the wall in qualifying, so that first one was really just all about I was just going to go for it and try to get the best finish I could doing that. And I drove up from 23rd to 13th, and then that caution came out, and then under caution, Tyler said, you can make it 20 if you save. So I saw how many laps we had left, and I was like, well, all I need to do is really save a little bit more, and I could make it. And sure enough, here we are.
And a top 3 finish to end off the night here in Kansas, and there's still a chance to chase victory lane with 2 more races up next. Going to be Phoenix coming through for the penultimate race this season, and you said it, coming on strong late, so maybe there's a chance to do it even better next time around. 2 more races left. You think there's a chance to get position 1?
I love Homestead. I'm not sure about Phoenix, but I love Homestead, so I'm feeling pretty good about these last 2 races.
And there we have it, still trying to get that race victory. Fantastic on the strategy all night long. The number 1 of Parker Alexander pulls it through for 3rd tonight. Anything else you'd like to add?
I just want to thank all the big fellas back at the shop. Sean Pellick, Dylan Roberts, Emily Howe, all the fellas. It's fun racing.
There we have it. Parker Alexander rounds out your top 3 here in Kansas. And we got to thank him for his time as we have your top 3 interviews collected for the day.
Thank you.
And there we have it. One more driver, of course, coming through in Parker Alexander, that number 1, wrapping off our podium ceremony here in Kansas. And 1 caution, clean racing to bring us back to the intermediates. And we've only got 2 races left in a thrilling Gen 4 Challenge 2003 season. It's been fun here in WINSTEL so far on the tour, and we'll bring you back with all the action next week at the virtual Phoenix Raceway live on FTF. Been a fantastic showcase of action here in Kansas. I've been David Kreutz, hosting you through all of the commentary with Zach Johnson behind the controls producing tonight's event. We thank you all dearly for your support. If you enjoyed the action, be sure to follow the channel. We'd love to have you supporting all our streams here on Twitch, and we hope to see you for the remainder of the WINSTEL 2003 season. This has been the WINSTEL Gen 4 Challenge, signing off from the round 22 Kansas Speedway, and it is your winner, Tyler Head, getting it done to extend his points lead. Thank you all for watching once again, and we hope you enjoyed tonight's presentation only on FTF.